Well, hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this side or the other side of the globe. I would like to welcome you. Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Straight Up No Chaser Talk with your girl, OG Patrice. This is yours truly in the building. Happy Sunday to everybody. I hope everybody has had a wonderful, happy, and safe weekend. I am so excited that we are winding down the final few days of this month to Black History Month. And my last guest on this, for Black History Month on this particular Sunday, is going to be someone that I've met that is so dear to my heart, so special. This sister is so real. Um, when I actually got the opportunity to meet her, she was so humble and so gracious. And I like to consider her my sister friend right now. And I'm excited to have her on this show. So, you guys, come on in, come on in. I'm going to do a little housekeeping. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, okay? Hit that like button, subscribe, and tell a friend, share on knowledge and relationships. And make sure you tune in to knowledge and relationships whenever they go live with their content. They are content creators that has been so gracious enough to let me have my own show on their platform. So salute to Mr. 83 and Mr. Best and Mrs. 83 and all of the team that works together on knowledge and relationships to make this happen on this platform. You guys, please subscribe and share and tell a friend to tell a friend about knowledge and relationships and straight up no chaser talk with your girl. Yours truly, OG Patrice, is in the building. I'm excited to be here. I'm going to do some housekeeping, you guys, before we get started. I want to welcome everybody in the room. Come on in the room. Who we got in here? We got B-Eazy Dat Dude. What's up, B-Eazy? How you doing, brother? Y'all make sure y'all check out Big B-Eazy Dat Dude and Big Rig Slaps show on this very channel, Knowledge and Relationships. They have a show, so make sure you guys tune in to their show as well. Who else we got? We got Vaughn Eric. Vaughn Eric, salute, brother. How you doing? Blessings. Greetings and salutations to everybody, all my family. Y'all come on in the room. I'm excited to have you guys. Who else is here? Sister Annie. How are you, Sister Annie? Thank you so much. Y'all come on in the room. Thank y'all for being here, rocking with your girl, OG Patrice, on this Sunday, either morning, afternoon, or evening. Depends on where you are around the world, around the globe. Who else is in here? Oh, my bro is in here. Let's talk the better Black life. What's up, bro, Clarence? If y'all don't know, me and this brother met for real in real life, in real time. I was so happy to finally meet my brother. I actually went to California to do my stage play last weekend, and my brother came through. So it was such an honor to get to meet him in person, y'all. And I know he posted the picture of he and I on his platform, Let's Talk the Better Black Life. Y'all go over there, subscribe to my brother's channel, because y'all know that's one of my main homes over there where I rock all day and all night with him, right? Y'all subscribe to Let's Talk the Better Black Life. M. Mills, how are you, beautiful sister? Thank you for coming in, sis. How are you? It's so good to see you. Who else is in the building? Oh, my BFF is in the building. Latasha Branch. Hey, BFF. That's my BFF. She out there in Cali too. You guys, I love her so much. Thank you guys. I appreciate you coming in. Come on in, BFF. I'm excited about this interview. You guys, please share this. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I'm excited about this interview I'm getting ready to do with my new sister friend, my newfound sister friend. And I want to tell y'all a little bit before I read her bio, her extensive bio, kind of like how we met. I rock with her channel. She has a channel, Sister Angela Stanton-King. Y'all make sure y'all go over there and subscribe to the Angela Stanton-King show, because she has her own YouTube channel and her own commentary on her platform as well. So make sure you guys go over there and subscribe to her. I've subscribed to her. I started rocking with her. I'm a moderator over there. And now I am a sister friend of hers. And I actually was honored, got the pleasure to meet her as well. We met up in Las Vegas. We partied, had a good time, and we broke bread together. We talked about some serious things, which is what we're also going to talk about during this interview section as well. So I am so honored to now call her my sister friend and to be working with her on her future endeavors that we are going to talk about more in depth in this interview. But without further ado, guys, I am going to read you the bio of this sister because it's pretty extensive, but we need to get the idea of the kind of sister she is and the work that she has done in our communities, the work she has done, and all the things that she advocates for. We're going to get more into depth to that when I bring her on. But again, you guys, I'm excited to end. What a way to end Black History Month, by having a beautiful Black queen on this platform, my beautiful Black sister, Mrs. Angela Stanton-King. So I'm going to read her bio. Angela Stanton-King is a former U.S. congressional candidate. She ran in the state of Georgia for the 5th District. She's a criminal justice advocate and founder of the American King Foundation, whose mission is to reunite American families with a pathway to justice, economic stability, and relational wellness. She serves as a community outreach coordinator for the Alive Center, a place of help, hope, and healing for hurting people. Angela is an active board member of Beacon Leadership Academy and advisor to Kando Clemency and Alveda King Ministries. She is also the Georgia Regional State Coordinator for Coalition of Leaders United and a very well-known outspoken public figure. And outspoken she is. Angela often serves as a political news contributor for Newsmax, Fox Soul TV, Real America's Voice, BNC, Black News Channel, and more. Since her release from prison in 2005, the celebrated owner of Stanton Publishing House and former reality TV star of the BET Network docuseries From the Bottom Up has been a mentor by her godmother evangelist Alveda King, and has joined her in being a prolific voice in the pro-life movement. Angela has also formed several organizations dedicated to restoring values, healing victims of sexual abuse, and assisting disadvantaged persons. The national best-selling author, activist, speaker, founder, philanthropist, using her life story as a testimony of redemption to make a profound positive impact in today's social and political climate. Her agenda of prison reform and family unification brings hope to all Americans. Angela is a criminal justice reform advocate who helped pass the first step signed into law by President Donald J. Trump on December 18, 2019. Her story of being chained to a bed during childbirth encouraged President Donald Trump to enact the laws making it illegal for women to be chained. The horrendous experience was well documented in her national best-selling memoir, Life of a Real Housewife, formerly Lies of a Real Housewife, in which Angela set the record straight and placed all her past dirty deeds of display for public view. On February 18, 2020, Angela was given a full unconditional pardon from President Donald J. Trump after her 2004 conviction on federal conspiracy charges for her role in a car theft ring in which she spent more than 2 years in prison. In a statement by the White House following her February 18 pardon, Trump said, Stanton-King overcame a difficult childhood to become a champion for redemption and rehabilitation for all who strive for a better life. Angela has a heart for the restoration of our prisoners, the rehabilitation of our homeless, the protection of our children, and the empowerment of the next generation of Georgians. I believe that the healing and equipping of our vulnerable population will lead to flourishing of our city, and the defense of our God-given freedoms will enable us to prosper. As her story goes to show, every life is worth investing in. Every life can make a difference. Every life matters. That is the long, extensive bio of my sister. And without further ado, guys, without further ado, drum roll, please. I would like to introduce to you guys none other than my new sister friend, girlfriend, the beautiful entrepreneur, author, mother, wife, advocate, politician, philanthropist. Listen, she got a lot, okay? She got a lot on her bio. That's all I got to say. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, none other than Angela Stanton-King. Woo!
Hey, everybody.
Hey, sis, how are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm at home today. It's Sunday. This is usually family time, but I did this specifically for you. What's going on?
Well, I appreciate you, sis. I appreciate you. Everything good?
Everything is good. I can't complain.
Wonderful. Well, I know you don't have a lot of time because I know you told me you got a lot going on, family coming through and everything. And I know how busy, you can get. Today is Sunday, and I understand that. So we're going to just jump right into it. First of all, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for taking the time out to come and rock over here with me. I really appreciate you. I told everybody our humble beginnings of how we met and how I now rock with you and consider you a sister girlfriend. And I'm excited and looking forward to working with you on your endeavors with Auntie Angie House. So we're going to get right into it, sis. Listen, I want to talk about it. Can you tell us a little bit about, and I know I read your bio, but your humble beginnings, because I'm going to say this. I know before I subscribed to your channel, the first time I heard about you, and I'm going to be honest, the first time I heard about you is when I saw your interview on The Breakfast Club, right? And I was like, okay, who is this sister? What's she talking about? We got another, Black politician coming in here. What's she talking about? Things of that nature. And I watched your interview extensively, and I heard you tell your story, and I was very intrigued by that. So can you kind of walk us through your humble beginnings with that?
Yeah, it actually goes back a little further than the interview with The Breakfast Club. I also had a reality on BET that was produced by Queen Latifah called From the Bottom Up. It just talked about a young woman that made some mistakes. I faced all the other statistics like everyone else, born into poverty, somewhat of a dysfunctional family. We make some mistakes. So I ended up in prison, go to prison, get out of prison. I'm a single mother, lost my mother and my grandmother. Father was in prison, and I'm trying to reclaim my life and rebuild my life and also raise my children at the same time. During that process, I ended up kind of escaping away from Democrat policy. And it kind of just happened through experience. I had always been a Democrat just because my mother, grandmother, everybody was Democrat. And then I got out of prison. And when I got released from prison, I was no longer able to accept things or to get things like welfare or Section 8 or things like that because I was a convicted felon. So that made it where I could no longer be welfare dependent. A lot of time when you're young and you're a single mom and you fall into, those stereotypes, you can easily become welfare dependent, whether it's dependent on the government for a Section 8 to pay your rent every month, or if it's for food stamps every month. So by me being denied those things because of my conviction, I ended up having to come out from up under that safety net and learn how to stand on my own, which I wrote my own life story and ended up starting my own publishing company, and that's how I eventually became financially free. Um, Throughout that time, which there are plenty of stories and reality shows out there about my life, but I ended up connecting with Alveda King when I was released from prison due to the fact that I was in search of some help, some assistance. I was released from prison with a $25 check and a bus ticket and just told to go start my life over. So I
Wow.
ended up at a women and children's crisis center looking for help with 4 of my children in 3 garbage bags. It just so happened that the day that I met Miss King working in that center, that not only did she give me a job, she helped me get back on my feet. But if we fast forward to, let's say, 15 years later, now President Donald Trump is in office. My godmother, Alveda, obviously has a relationship with Donald Trump, and one of his initiatives is criminal justice reform. And of course, I had a story because while I was in prison, I was pregnant, and I ended up giving birth to my daughter chained to a bed with the sheriff watching. I had no idea that 15 years later, I'd be sitting in front of a United States sitting president telling him my story, and that not only will he pass one of the most historic criminal justice reform legislation known to Black America, but he also made it illegal for them to chain women to the bed during childbirth. From there, I ended up getting a full and unconditional pardon myself while fighting for thousands of others to receive pardons and sentencing reductions. And I ended up running for Congress. And I ran for Congress in the 2020 election. I ran in Fulton County. Trump ran as president. We've all heard, the rumors about what supposedly happened. And, Stacey Abrams has said for years that Governor Kemp cheated her out of the election. I think she still stands by that. But if you're a Republican and you say that you feel like you got cheated and all of a sudden there's some type of big collusion and federal charges come, I don't know what's going on. But if we just fast forward from all that today, after the political run, after being able to work in politics, to work with Trump and his administration, I now have my hand back in the community, which is where it all started from, with Auntie Angie's house. And Auntie Angie's house is a pregnancy home for women and their children, where they can basically come while they're pregnant, they can have their baby, and we can help them with the 2-year transitional process. And all of this, of course, formed from my own personal experience and my own story.
And I think your story is a lot of Black female stories that grew up in poverty in the inner city, that had struggles, that had, children, and was on welfare and just needed that help and that leg up. And I thank you for sharing that. And I think that a lot of people don't realize that with your close relationship with Alveda King, who is also close with Trump and have a relationship and connection with Trump, and as so do you, don't realize that these are some of the things that Donald Trump actually did. Not only were you pardoned, not only did he pass that law, because we know that these type of things affect predominantly us in our community, meaning Black people, people that look like us, Black and brown people, that affects us. When people don't realize that Donald Trump has done some of these things, and I think because the media has shedded such a negative light on being very prolific and concentrating only on the negative and calling him a racist, a racist, a racist, a racist. I think we don't realize that that is one of the things that he actually did that affects us predominantly. Black people was passing that law that women should not be chained to beds when they're given delivery, when they are in prison, as well as pardon, because not only did he pardon you, can you name some of the other people that were pardoned in that process?
The former mayor of Detroit, Kwame Kilpatrick, was also pardoned. He pardoned. Up to date, we have 20,000 Black men home from federal prison on sentencing reductions. These were people that got life sentences because of 3 strikes, you're out. This is the 94 crime bill that was written by Joe Biden and signed into law by Bill Clinton, which locked up a lot of our people off of the streets in, the late 90s, which is these are the people that we were focusing on putting back in the home. And one of the reasons why, I worked with President Trump was because I was so bothered at that time by seeing so many people say, hey, reunite families at the border, reunite families at the border. And it's not that I was opposed to that. But how can you reunite families at the border and not think about the families that need to be reunited in the border?
That part,
You know,
that part.
our families have been being separated. If they even want to go back to the dates of slavery, when they were put up on the slave box and sold and separated, you know, Section 8 was a form of family separation because it put the father out of the home and made the government the daddy. And so there were just so many people that I knew in my life personally that had someone that were incarcerated. And these are people that have served 10, 20, 30 years in prison for nonviolent drug offenses that deserved a second chance. And thanks to President Trump, that did happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And I will say, born and raised as a Democrat too, my views have, and when I look back on it, my views has always been conservative when I think about it. And when I did the history of Black Republicans, goes all the way back to the days of Black Wall Street and Tulsa. All these people were business owners thriving in our communities, and they were Republicans. And a lot of people don't realize that. I think the shift happened during the Truman era and the civil rights era, when we kind of jumped on the wagon of the Kennedys and all of that, being Republicans, putting certain things in place. And my views was always conservative. Now I am a independent now, but my views and opinions have always been more conservative. And when I dig more into, if you want to, as they always say, if you want to really compare apples and oranges, or if you want to compare who's more of a racist, Biden versus Trump, when you look at the relationships that Trump has had predominantly with people that walked away from him after the media started saying he was racist, when you look at all the celebrities on pictures with him that rocked with him, a lot of celebrities that were campaigning for him, they all kind of backed away. When I think the media, and sometimes we don't realize that sometimes the media is the worst, because it sets the tone and the mindset of conditioning for our people. And I started looking at that and looking at the track record of Biden, who also said some nefarious things about not wanting his children to go to school with our people that look like us, being a part of the 94 crime bill and the Dixiecrats, and that whole racist overtone of politics, and stopping so many things in our communities, resources, funding, and things during his time being a senator in Delaware. I was like, all we have to do is really look at the line and the difference of Trump wasn't even in politics then. So we can't blame him for when he wasn't in politics and what he didn't do compared to the things that he did when he was in office. Let's talk about how he was even talking about, sitting at the table, inviting Black people, entrepreneurs, inviting the Ice Cubes to talk about the $500 billion Black Platinum Plan, to talk about reparations, to talk about things that we said we wanted to talk about. But then when we put these people in positions to be in the room with them, we want to cancel them. So I'm like, okay, we need to make up our mind. Like, what do we want here, Black people? All because we're listening more to the mass media say, he's racist, he's racist, he's racist. But then when you look at the track record of Biden, who's actually more racist, and who done things that has negatively affected the Black community more? Biden.
One of the things I always tell our community whenever I go speak, or a lot of times when I'm on my live, I say, the real racists don't want your children to live. Not only do they not want your children to live, they don't even want your children to be born. If you want to know who the real racists are, look into the people that are funding Planned Parenthood. During COVID, Planned Parenthood was awarded over $80 billion. These people are willing to put $80 billion behind our children being executed, lynched in the womb, than they will into us living. They'll pay for us to die, but they won't pay for us to live. And that's one of the things that has stood out to me the most when it comes to the difference between these two administrations. When you go back and you just do your research and you do your history about Margaret Sanger, about Planned Parenthood, about the Negro Project, it's like us as a people, we cannot continue to say and cry that we're an oppressed minority, but yet we are aligning ourselves with people that are convincing us to abort our votes, not only abort our votes, but abort our future. And we have to understand that there is strength in numbers. There is another way. Imagine if they put all of this funding into pregnancy prevention or into, let's say, grants for single mothers or grants for families that stay together. Why can't a mother and a father go to the government and get a grant to just start a farm or to start their own business? We see all this money pouring over into Ukraine. And meanwhile, we are stepping over homeless people to get into our courthouses, to get into our churches. We see tent cities surrounding our highways. It's just time for us to wake up and realize that our biggest failure as a people is that we have voted for the person and not the policy. We vote for the person that they tell us to like without ever looking into the policy and not understanding that these policies are doing more harm than they are helping us. And it's time we pay attention to the policy and not the person.
Exactly. I agree. I know the far left side has definitely, dangled the carrot, dangled the shiny object, give us the people that look like us, that talk the good charismatic talk, that say that they're going to do these things for our communities and for our people, and we vote for them and they don't. And Master Duck, I know you put up about abortion. Of course, it's a woman's choice. We all know that. But there's the far left that is specifically pouring millions of dollars into these type of programs. And that's what Sister Angela is saying.
And one of the things that Black men have to do is take their power back when it comes to speaking life over their own seeds. And they say, it's a woman's choice, but in reality, what is the choice? What is the choice that they're making? And none of us have the same bodies as our mothers. So we give that argument, my body, my choice, just because we feel like it's some form of liberation, when in actuality, there's only one way to get Black life. Like, everybody that's existing is existing because their mother got pregnant and their mother gave birth. Getting an abortion does not stop you from going through the birthing process, and I've been there, and I'm not trying to put anybody down, but it's time that we focus on pregnancy prevention, because if we don't create the life, then we don't have to end the life. And not only that, do we even want to get into the deeper conversation about what happens to those babies once they're aborted, because nobody is giving back the baby's remains and told to go bury it in the backyard. So that's another conversation for another day. And he said, if a poor woman doesn't want a kid, who forcing her to have a kid? That all comes to the choice being made before sex. If you know that you're not in a position to have a baby, why create a baby just to have to execute it? Let's go back to safe sex. Let's go back to pregnancy prevention. Plan B is a thing, right? Yeah. Plan B is also a thing.
Let's promote that. Exactly.
And if we don't never have to agree on pro-choice or pro-life, but we should all be able to agree on pregnancy prevention.
Absolutely, I agree, and safe sex as well, because all of that comes hand in hand. But like you said, that's a whole nother conversation. Sis, can you tell me, being a Black Republican, especially a Black female Republican, in your opinion, what has been some of the pros and cons of that, and where do you think Black people miss the mark when it comes to their perception of what being a Black Republican is versus being a Black Democrat?
I wanted to respond to his comment about Obama wanting to give free Plan B. Obama actually gave free abortion. So, and that's another thing that Biden and them was fighting for. So that's another conversation. But anyway, let's talk about this. We missed the mark because we're so focused on negative messaging. We listen to whatever a media or blog tells us. When are we going to begin doing our own research? We see so many times, and I'll give you an example. I was with everybody else thinking, oh my God, is this guy Trump a racist? I didn't know Trump. And then one day I went to one of his speeches and I was sitting in the audience and I heard the whole speech. And then it wasn't an hour later, I saw how the news clipped it. And you had the commentator put in their own commentary and they tried to make it seem as if something was said that wasn't. We are all being misled, okay, by the media. And as long as we are being misled by the media and believing that we're fighting for Black lives to matter, but being the first in line at the abortion clinic, I'm going to tell you something. Those Republicans are laughing at us, because when I go to those Planned Parenthood marches, I'm one speck of black pepper in a whole sea of salt of white people that are standing there fighting for their babies to live. And when you look on the other side, we are fighting to have a choice that 7 white men gave us based off of a lie. Because if we want to tell the truth, Jane Rose said that she was raped by 4 black men, and that's why she needed an abortion. And she was never raped and never even had an abortion. So it's just another form of black genocide. And we got to get educated, because we aligning with these white liberals that acting like they want to be our friend. But you're not being our friend by taking us to the abortion clinic and executing our children. That's not somebody that's your friend. Somebody that's your friend wants you to live. They want your children to live. They want what's best. So we got to get back to valuing life, because it's crazy for us to say they better value our lives, but yet it's still we're the forefront of the fight for abortion. If we don't care about the black lives that we create, how you gonna go fight for somebody else's?
And this is my thing, sis, and then you let me know what you think. I what I see from the far left is they're either promoting that, they're either more pro the abortion, or either they are pushing these agendas when it comes to our children, when it comes to laws and protecting our children in schools and in our communities, when it comes to underage, using puberty blockers, promoting same sex, teaching anal sex in school. Like I know if I had a child, thank God I don't. I mean, but I wouldn't send my child to school to get educated, to learn these specific things that they're pushing on. I feel on our children, and they have an agenda about.
Everything is about sex, okay? I'm gonna tell you why. Because through sex, we can also do what? Lead to our depopulation. If they are pushing abortion, they're saying abortion is healthcare. First of all, abortion is not birth control. They have made it seem now that abortion is a form of birth control. Abortion is not birth control. Abortion is population control, because birth control actually prevents the birth from taking place. Population control executes the life after the life has already been created. If we are creating an atmosphere where everybody is having reckless, promiscuous sex, then that means more funding for the abortion clinic. If you really want to get in deep, you go in and looking into who in Congress is funded by Planned Parenthood, and you go in and look into how much Planned Parenthood is awarded through funding from Congress. Now, if everybody is pouring into this one bucket, oh, we're going to teach them about sex, we're going to teach them to be promiscuous, why are we not teaching abstinence? Why are we not teaching safe sex? Instead, they're inside of the public schools giving out butt plugs.
Yeah. Again, this agenda with the children, being underage, to being able to overrule the parent. You send your child to school to get educated, and they get to school and being convinced that they can wear a dress if they're a boy, or they can wear a specific type of pants or outfit if they're a girl. And if you want to be a boy today, you could be a boy, little girl, or you could be a girl, little boy. Like, I'm sorry, and then you get to overrule me as the parent who is providing, birth this child, taking care of this child. You get to make policies and procedures to overrule me, the parent, as if I don't have any rights. When my 14-year-old granddaughter was able to sign herself out of the hospital without the advice of the doctor and her parent that didn't want her to, but she was able to do that in the state of California, that's scary to me. I'm sorry, that's scary to me.
Well, this is another thing we got to think about, and I don't know if anybody has taken the time to think about this. When you even mention LGBTQ and all of the letters and what they stand for and what they represent, each one of them is a preferred sexual preference. When did we start identifying children as preferred sexual preferences? So you have the L, which is the lesbian. You have the B, that is bi. They have LGBT in school, teaching these children as young as pre-K. Somebody help me understand why I'm supposed to look at a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old and say, oh, that child is bisexual, meaning that they like sex both ways. When did we even begin to put sex and children in the same sentence?
Putting that in their psyche at such a young age. That is the last thing that our children need to be worrying about. When we send them to school, I don't want to have to worry about a conditioning of the mind and the psyche of my child being influenced by something that is not being taught and raised in my home. Now, I'll deal with that situation if I have a child, and we could talk about that, Sister Angela, because you have a child and you went through scrutiny when you were on Dr. Phil. Let's have the conversation. Let's be real about it. what the privacy of your home and things that go on in your home and how you raise your children is just that, whether it be morals, values, a moral compass of how you raising your children. Then when your children get to be of a certain age and they're out of your care, out of your home, you're not financially responsible for them in that way anymore. They can make those decisions for themselves. Let's have that conversation.
We just don't need to be looking at children as sexual preferences. That's just going a little bit too far. Children don't need anyone to teach them of what type of sex they like or what or who they're going to be attracted to. We've all, grown up before we're adults. We know that some of those things become natural. I mean, they come naturally. You begin to develop these things over time as you mature. You have to experience things to even know what you like or how you like it. So anybody that's identifying a child as a sexual preference, if you ask me, they need to have their mind checked. Outside of that, the radical gender identity ideology that's happening in our schools is also another thing that's insane, because here's the thing. As a parent, with those first 4 or 5 years that you get with your child before you even enroll your child in school, the identity has already been established. I've enrolled my children in school. I have 5 children. I've done it before. They ask you male or female, the name. They ask for the social security number, the birth certificate. My child's identity is what has been selected on that paper. So when the child is enrolled in school, the identity has already been established. This is something that happens between this child and his parents at home. Why is it now the job of the school to intentionally go undo what the parent already has etched in stone, what's already written down on government documents? We're not sending our children to school to learn about gender identity. We're sending our children to school to learn about life skills and academics. We definitely need to stand up, and we all need to be showing up to the school board meetings, and we need to say that, hey, we're not coming from a place of hate. This is not an anti-LGBTQ.
And it doesn't mean we're homophobic either. And that's the label that we always get on us, that we're homophobic, because we're saying, hey, my child is my responsibility. My kid, he's underage. You don't have a right to tell my child what they need to be or what they are. That is for me to deal with in my personal life and business with my child. So with you going on Dr. Phil and literally having them to try to convince you to call, JB, which is your transgender child, a certain pronoun, and you're speaking against that.
Well, I'm a mother, and nobody has the right to overrule me. I'm the one that was there. I'm the one that carried my child. I'm the one that birthed my child. I'm the one that raised my child. I'm the one that made the sacrifices. So no one has the right to overrule me. Not only that, because of what my child was experiencing, I took myself back to school, got a bachelor's degree in psychology, because I wanted to better understand. Yes, we love our children, and our children are going to make decisions sometimes that we don't always necessarily agree with. But the thing is that you love your child in truth. Always tell your child the truth, because the rest of the world will lie to your child. They will lie to your children. It is your responsibility to ground them in truth. And whatever decision they make, you remember those decisions that you made and you didn't listen to mama. But one day it came back to bite you in the butt.
Absolutely. I agree totally 100%. And now let's roll over into Auntie Angie's house. Let's talk a little bit about that. And if you guys can pull up the website and we can talk about, because I know that Auntie Angie's house is definitely something that is at the forefront with what you're working on now. It is a part of your heart, and you advocate for helping women that is transitioning through doing a pregnancy, after pregnancy, with helping with children care and things of that nature. So let's talk about first. I know the tragedy happened with Auntie Angie House because the organization had purchased the building, and then the building actually burned. And if we can show a little bit of that video while Sister Angela is.
Yeah, so actually we had a contract on the building. It wasn't completely purchased yet, but I think we spoke too soon and announced that we were turning this into a pregnancy home for women, and it was mysteriously burned to the ground. But now we have the lot, and we have to rebuild from there. But we started an online GoFundMe account, which is raising enough money to allow us to get a temporary location while we're in the process of still raising funds to have the original structure built. Auntie Angie's house, through my advocacy work and my pro-life work over the years, God has used me to be able to save 71 babies from abortion. And with doing that, I've also continued to be a part of their mothers' lives, just being a mentor and helping to guide them on this path to, I guess, freedom, should we speak, because you need to be financially free. You need to be depression free, right? You need to be free of all of these things in order to be able to stand on your own and give your children exactly what they need. So my idea for Auntie Angie's house was, hey, why don't we get a place for women while they're pregnant, if they're in need or facing crises, where it'll be a safe place for them to be able to come and have their babies, and they can live there for 2 years while we begin this transitioning process. This transitioning process includes making sure that they get their education, making sure that they get job placement, making sure that they get entrepreneurship training, make sure that they get the medical care that they need, making sure that they get the mental health that they need, and also partnering them up with aunties like yourself who will agree to be a part of their lives for those 2 years to provide spiritual, mental, and financial support. You know, with the overturning of Roe v. Wade, we hear so many times people say, Republicans, they don't care about pro-life. They don't care what happens after the baby is born. We're also dealing with the Black maternal health crisis, which is something that has completely rocked my world. They're saying that Black women are now 3 times likely to die compared to white women. And this is up on the whitehouse.gov if anybody wants to go look at this. They're saying that we're 3 times likely to die compared to white women giving birth to our children. But the only solution I've heard them give us for the Black maternal health crisis is abortion, which is alarming, because if the mother is dying giving birth to the baby, and then the baby is dying during the abortion process, what does that mean for Black life, and what is a solution? A solution to me was, I remember my grandmother, Shook, she gave birth to 10 children. They weren't born in the hospital. They were born in a shed. So I started remembering, hey, wait a minute, birth is natural. Let's let every species on this earth is giving birth, right? So maybe we need to get back to more natural ways. If we're in these hospitals dying 3 times likely compared to white women, then maybe we need to get back to a natural birth order. Another thing that was alarming is all of these life-saving benefits that are located inside of the placenta and the stem cells. I remember giving birth to all 5 of my children. I was never educated on the benefits of keeping my placenta. I was never educated on the benefits of the stem cells from the baby. And I don't even remember being asked if they could even keep my placentas. So it's important for us to provide a solution to the Black maternal health crisis. And that's what Auntie Angie's house is.
Awesome. And I love it. I'm going to let them play a little bit experts of it, but also because we talk a lot about in these YouTube streets about preserving the Black nuclear family and things of that nature. And we all have to face the reality that sometimes mom and daddy not going to be together, not going to get along, but there is this child that is in the middle of that. How can we preserve that and save that? And the parent and the father can still be there, even though the parent is not together. It doesn't make that woman a single parent. That just makes her a single woman. If the father is still there providing, it just makes her a single woman. It doesn't make her a single parent. If the father is there providing, he's there, he's financially providing, he's there in that child's life, being a resource, being a protector, and the things that he should be. It only makes her a single a mother, a woman. It doesn't make her a single parent. And that's the thing that I think we need to get that understanding. But we're going to play a little bit of expert from Auntie Angie's house. Go ahead, team.
Mark Tigner joins us live from the scene along Irwin Avenue with the very latest. Mark, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Buck. I'm going to step out. You can see nothing left of this house here on Irwin Street in Northeast Atlanta. That's where this house fire broke out.
I mean, to be completely honest, I was in complete shock. If there were 2 words that could describe how I felt, it was confusion and devastation. I just kept looking and scanning around the area to see if I was in the right place. I pulled up here to meet the contractor, and the house was gone. I myself was a single mother. I've been released from prison. I didn't have the help and assistance that I needed. My mother and grandmother had both passed away during my incarceration. So this was my dream. I wanted to help other women that were just like me, that needed stability, that needed some support. With the overturning of Roe v. Wade, I was building this home, Auntie Angie's house, to help pregnant women not only keep their babies, but help them become sufficient so that they could take care of their babies.
We've been told by firefighters that this home is vacant. They don't know if anybody is inside what is left of it. They say it's simply too early. It's too hot for them to go in and do a thorough search. Also too early for them to know the cause. They do have fire investigators who are going to come out and try to take a look at this.
Auntie Angie's house was going to provide just that. It was going to be a 9-bedroom, 9-bathroom oasis for pregnant women to help them in their babies. We want to provide life skills, entrepreneurship skills, give them everything that they needed in order to succeed. Stanton-King, I'm the founder of the American King Foundation. We're still going to rebuild. It's going to take some time. This was a rehabilitation project for my organization. And because of the Black maternal health crisis, I said, what's the solution? How can we help these women? I pulled up and this is all that's left of a dream. As you can see.
Thank you, King. That's great. Sis, so
They left us with
let's talk about
sticks.
Thank you. We good, team. So let's talk about how good God is. When you text me, because I remember you text me and you sent the, I was like, oh my God. And I was like, sis, don't worry. God gonna make a way. Listen, because you have no idea how much we hear about Black men talking about single baby mamas and you know, and all of this stuff, and they need to keep the legs closed and blah blah blah. But listen, let's talk about the solutions. Let's talk about things that like what you're doing to help single mothers, to help single women that find themselves in these conditions, being a part of the solution and not the problem by just talking about it.
And not just what I'm doing, what we're doing together as a community, because it's not something that I can do by myself. I mean, I'm doing this with the support of my community. Everybody that goes on Auntie Angie's GoFundMe page and donates $1 is being a part of the solution. And, you know, somebody in the comments was saying this place is targeted, of course, because Planned Parenthood is 2 streets over. And it's like, you know, I've learned that there are pregnancy resource centers. There are over 2,600 pregnancy resource centers throughout the United States. But guess what? They aren't in our communities. We get Planned Parenthood in our communities. They get fertility clinics in their communities. If this is all about giving women, if this is all about giving our women a choice, then why is it that Planned Parenthood is the only option that they have to go to? My vision for Auntie Angie's house is that everywhere you see a Planned Parenthood, there's an Auntie Angie's across the street, just like McDonald's and Burger King, where if that woman is on the verge of making that decision, and like they say, hey, yes, it is her choice, but let's give them a real choice, because I know a lot of women that wouldn't make that decision if they know that they just had a little bit of support. And that's what we do as a community. When they said back in the day, it takes a village. This is our village coming together, saving these lives, saving our votes, fighting for the next generation. This is going to be the turn in the dynamics of what's happening to us as a community. We have to begin to value life all the way back to the beginning. Men have been so ousted by this feminist pro-abortion movement. They have been told they don't have a voice. They have been told to stay out of the womb of women. Well, if you hadn't let them in your womb, it wouldn't be a baby in there. And I'm sorry to say it, but dear woman, you do not make a baby by yourself. If it wasn't for a man, you wouldn't even have a baby. The man is the one that carries life and implants it in you. A man should have a right to say whether or not his child lives or dies. It's amazing that a mother can have a choice. If she doesn't want to be bothered, or if she feels as though she's not ready to give her life, she can go into an abortion clinic. But if a father doesn't want to be involved, then he's got to deal with court for 18 years. He's got to go to prison. You got to drag him for the rest of his life.
I agree.
If you're going to make the father be responsible, make the mother be responsible. Or guess what? Let's meet in the middle where we agree. Put our funding and focus back on pregnancy prevention instead of teaching our children 1,000 different sexual preferences. And with that, Patrice, I gotta go. My baby's calling me. They want me to eat cake and ice cream.
Okay. So your books. You know, I got all 3 of your books.
Yep, you got one more. You got one more on the way. Life Beyond These Walls.
Okay, yes. Make sure you Sis, thank you. I'm gonna close it out with the rest of the conversation, and we're gonna pick up. We got to do a part 2. Thank you so much. I love you, and I will see you. I'll see you soon, right?
Yep, thank
we gotta
you.
hang out. I will see you soon. Bye bye. Love you. All right, you guys. So I didn't get to cover everything. I'm gonna bring my sis back for part 2, but I wanted to talk more in depth with her about her books. She sent me these. They are autographed by her, and I am honored to be an official honorary auntie. Again, I'm going to be working with her with Auntie Angie's house, making a difference. Listen, I just want us to stop doing all this talking in these YouTube streets about single baby mamas and single mama and da-da-da. And do the work for real and making a difference in helping the ones that are here, the single mothers that you all say, because all these single mothers are not single mothers. They may be single women, but there are fathers that are actively involved in that child's life, that are actively involved financially, that are actively showing up. They're coming to schools, they're going to help them in sports and in recreation and being that protector, being that provider, being there, showing up, being a father for real. So all these women are not single mothers. They may be single women, but they are not single mothers. Let's not forget that there are fathers that are involved in their children's lives, you guys. They really are. And the ones that want to be there, because let's be real about, there are women that are not allowing their children and their fathers to be in their children's lives. Let's be real about that. Let's be real about that. So when you are calling a lot of these women single mothers, let's talk about the difference in being a single woman and a single parent or a single mother, because there is a difference, you guys. I know she had to go. I could have stayed on here with her for another hour. I'm gonna bring my sis back in another episode, and we're gonna continue talking about it, because she's doing so many great things to help our community, and I'm gonna be seeing her real soon. But I'm gonna give some more shout outs while I'm still on here, because I saw some more people come in the building. I saw it's Party Line. Hey, how are you? Thank you for stopping in. Big Rigs, Slaps, what's up, my brother? Mr. He Say, no, Mrs. She Said, hello, how you doing? Thank you for coming. Sir Hell Speaks, I saw you in the chat. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you stopping through. Alonzo, the All-Star Advisor, salute to you, brother. I was on your panel earlier. You guys go over there and subscribe to Alonzo. He gives great financial advice, great advice on life insurance, things of that nature. Sir Hell Speaks has a channel as well. It's called Sir Hell Speaks. Y'all go over there and subscribe. Again, you guys, Emil, thank you for tuning in. My BFF, Latasha Branch, I love you. Thank you for always being there for me and supporting me. That's a 30+ year friendship, me and Latasha Branch. That's the one I always talk to you all about, that she and I share grandchildren. My son married her daughter. So Latasha Branch, she's my BFF, and we share a bloodline that it will always be unbreakable. So I appreciate you guys. Let's talk to Better Black Life. My brother, thank you for tuning in. Listen, I want to say this because I didn't get a chance to talk about it, and I wanted to talk about it with Angela Stanton-King, but I also have another guest, my brother Jerome Davison, that I'm going to be interviewing. He is a Black male Republican that ran for congressional office here in the state of Arizona. Y'all remember him. I worked with him on his campaign, and I also going to be bringing him on as a guest too, because I want him to specifically cover and talk to Black men about politics and voting and getting more involved when it comes to those things. So I'm gonna be bringing him on sometime next month. I already got him sold up and sold out, and I'm going to be seeing and working with him and Angela Stanton-King on their salute. Bolo, how you doing, brother? Thank you for stopping in. Salute. Y'all subscribe to Bolo the Village. He has an awesome YouTube channel as well. But I'm going to be bringing my brother Jerome Davison in. He is a author. He just finished his book, as well, and he ran for as a Black Republican, a Black male Republican. He ran here in the state of Arizona where I am. So I'm going to be interviewing him because he and I have some serious conversations on Black men getting more involved in politics, Black men and they voting, and just overall what it's like to be a Black male Republican in today's society. I think that a lot of times, guys, we get it wrong. And I know sometimes, you know, like I said, I was born and raised as a Democrat my whole life. And now I became an independent. Right. And I've admitted this on many platforms. I didn't vote for no president. I voted locally because I tell y'all all the time that locally it matters because it affects your community. But when it comes to the overall betterment of policies and procedures, we really have to look at the people and stop looking at the fact that they may be Black or they may be Democrat or they may be Republican or whatever it is. You really need to vote on the person for their policies. And me, with my experience of working the Obama campaign, I saw that firsthand from the inside looking out on how politics work. And I'm going to talk about that with Brother Jerron Davidson, since I didn't get a chance to talk to Sister Angela Stanton-King. We're going to bring her back, y'all, because I'm telling you, she's doing phenomenal things. She's advocating for our people, for our communities. Her whole life has been, you know, saving our Black babies, boys and girls, saving our communities as a Black female Republican. So everybody that look like us, that may be on the opposite side of the political spectrum, does not mean they're not for us. And I learned that personally by having this personal relationship with her and meeting her and having conversations with her and being a part of some of the things that she's fighting for. I'm an independent, she's a Republican, but I have conservative views. So we share a lot of things in life. Listen, I'm an independent that still believe in pro-choice. I'm not saying that a woman should not have a choice to do what she wants to do with her body. I'm not saying that. I'm saying as an independent with sway more conservatively, I'm an independent that have conservative views that's definitely for reparations. Y'all know I'm also a member of ADOS. I support us getting reparations as well. So you can be multifaceted in your choices. You can be multifaceted in people and things and policies and views that you believe in politically. I just want us to do better. Knowledge and relationships, salute to you, Mr. Best, Mr. M3. Thank y'all. My tech support was in the background making it do what it do. Y'all got that picture of me and Sister Angela Stanton-King? Put that up. Y'all know I told y'all I'm in these streets for real. I don't get on YouTube and just bump my gums. I'm in the streets for real, doing the work to make a difference, working with the people that are making a difference, that are moving and shaking in these spaces, not just on YouTube, not just on these platforms, but in real life, boots on the ground, grassroots up. Your girl is out here doing it because I want to see the next generation do better. And I'm trying to bring them up, pass the torch, and say, now go and win that race, because somebody did that for me. But I had to look at the world and people different, that just because they maybe share a different religious background or a different political background or a different race or a different whatever does not mean that we can come together and share a common ground when it comes to certain things. Okay, you believe in that, so do I. Even though you may be a Dem, I may be independent, you may be a Republican. But if we agree right here with this one thing, let's work together on that one thing that we do agree on. And I think that a lot of times that's where we get it wrong as Black people. We think, oh, she a Republican, I don't want to listen to nothing she got to say because she a Republican. But when we really look at it and we really do the research, when it really counts for our people who are really saying that they would do the things that they said that they're going to do, those are the people that we need to put our funding and our resources behind. Not because they look like us or make us a promise that they cannot keep. We have not had not one president that is of the Caucasian persuasion, and even the one Black president that I worked for his campaign that promised specifically for Black people a $500 billion Black platinum plan. Let's just keep it real. Let's just keep it real. Now, none of them was even talking about bringing the Ice Cubes and all these other people that were going to talk on our behalf to the table. And this is what we have to stop doing. We have to stop wanting to cancel our people because they in the room with somebody we don't like. Not if they're getting ready to get something done for our people. We have to stop having that mindset. Oh, we gonna cancel Ice Cube because he finna go talk to Donald Trump about the 500 Black platinum plan, and he finna go talk to Donald Trump about reparations. What? If we are not in the room at the table with these people, how in the hell are we gonna get something done for our people? That's all I'm saying, guys. We have to really think outside of the box. This was the first time I met my dear sister, Angela Stanton-King. We met up in Las Vegas at an event, and we broke bread. We have conversations. We talk on the phone. We text each other. She sent me her books. Like, listen, I'm so excited to be working with her and be working in the community for the betterment of our people and of the betterment of our communities, because that's where it's at, y'all. If we just on these platforms just talking and bumping our gums and ain't doing nothing in real life, that don't mean nothing. So we can stop complaining about having all these single mamas and single baby mamas when we are not doing nothing to help the single women. Because guess what? Has had somebody aborted you'd have never saw your greatness. There are future people out here that are presidents, CEOs, executives, politicians, doctors, lawyers, Indian chiefs, whatever they want to be in life, they are here. And if they're not given a chance to have the life, then we will never know that, now would we? So I'm actually glad that I am going to be working with her and helping being a part of the solution. I was a single teen mom myself. Y'all heard me tell my story. And without having that village, without having my mother, my brothers, my aunts, my friends, my uncles, everybody helped me raise my son. And my son is a great attribute to society now. He works in nonprofit himself, helping the community. I raised him that way. I've always been that way, of wanting to help our people. And now I have a son that's out there that is an executive high up for a nonprofit doing the exact same thing. Being a part of the solution, not the problem. And that's facts. So at some point, what part are we going to stop blaming the Black man, stop blaming the Black woman, and we are going to just do our part? We know that some people gonna get left behind. Hell, I don't want everybody to come. I done said that many a time, because if you're gonna stagnate us and stagnate our community, listen, I don't want you to be a part of that. And I had a chance to marry my son's father when he went off in the army, and we didn't get married, and I don't regret that. We were very young, very young. But we're very good friends, and he was always active in my son's life. I never was a single baby mama. Never. And we're not always labeled that because we're a single woman. Does not mean we a single baby mama. All women are not like that. There are active Black men, Black fathers in our community that are active in their children's lives. So let's stop labeling each other wrong. Now, if the shoe fit and it applies, that's different. Because we do know there's some trifling women out here that is not letting their children be in their father's lives. Yes, that's happening. But what can we do to resolve these issues? What can is be a part of the solution and not the problem? So when we have these conversations, we can truly have honest conversations talking about solutions, you guys. This single woman who was a teen mom raised her child with a village and a community, and my son was honored at the White House, sweetie. I have showed the proof of that. That's facts. So know that every single woman, a baby mama, or single parent, honey, don't mean that they are a bad person and that their child gonna be raised horrible. It don't mean that. And maybe one day I'll see if my son will let me interview him, so you can see what this single parent did with raising as a single teen mom that had a village behind her, whose son ended up at the White House being honored on pictures with Colin Powell at the White House in the Bushes when the Bushes were in office. Everybody is not a lost cause. This sister Angela Stanton-King was just on here, told her humble beginnings. Everybody ain't a lost cause because they was a single parent or a single baby mama or a single woman that had children early and did this and do. There's greatness in us all if we strive to be great. Now I'm gonna land my plane. I'm gonna follow up. I want to thank again my sister Angela Stanton-King for coming on and doing this interview with me. We got to do a part 2. And I'm so excited. Hope I can get her back real soon. I'm gonna be bringing on brother Jerron Davison, who is another black male Republican that ran for Congress here in the state of Arizona. I'm gonna bring a variety of things, you guys, because we need to broaden our horizons. Okay, we just need to do research more on these politicians that's promising us things, because it's not all about that, you guys. This was a great and awesome show. I wish it could have lasted longer with the sister, but that's okay. I'm gonna bring her back.
OG, can I give you your flowers, OG? Can I give you your flowers, please?
Thank you. Thank you. She didn't have time, because the next time we're gonna do questions and things. But she answered some because she was looking at the chat. But she was answering some of the questions. But I want to thank y'all for being my tech support and in the background, having my back, bringing up the pictures and the video footage. And y'all go and subscribe to Sister Angela Stanton-King on her YouTube channel. And also she has her own publishing company. She was on Real Housewives. She told her life story when she was in prison. She told her situation when she got caught up in I think it was some court battle with Phaedra from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. We didn't get to cover none of that, guys, and she ended up winning that case as well. Listen, this is a sister that is boots on the ground, y'all, as a black female Republican that's out here doing the work to help benefit us and our community specifically. And that's what she talks about on her channel. And that's why I fell in love with her when I first started checking her out. You know how we are as black people. We be like side-eyeing, like, yeah, let me watch them for a while, see what they about, see what they talking about. I actually did that to her, but we got to give people a chance. Once I saw that and saw, okay, I like what she's talking about. You know, she's different. And not only as she's talking the talk, she's also walking the walk. She is walking the walk, you guys. You know, so to be able to work with people that is actually making a difference and not just talking a talk, have a platform to stand on. I'm honored to be a part of that. Thank you, guys. I appreciate M. Mills. Thank you. I appreciate you guys for tuning in and rocking with your girl. Patrice. But if y'all have any questions, anybody could come up. I got a couple minutes. So if you got a question, Mr. Best, or anybody want to come up and ask me a question. And because listen, I have a story. I got a journey on how I went from being a Democrat to being independent with conservative values, not realizing that I always had conservative views. But what you want to say, Mr. Best?
OG, I just want to give you your flowers real quick, OG. And I want to say thank you for always, representing us, for bringing everything you brought, not to just this platform, but overall everywhere. Thank you for fighting for us. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that is said enough. I've highlighted several women on my series Black is Gold. You know what I mean? And I've highlighted Mary McLeod Bethune, Barbara Jordan. You know what I mean? Frederick Douglass and his wife. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do Denzel today. I'm gonna talk about his wife as well, and how these women were so influential and impactful in pushing our people forward. Not bringing them back, not complaining and backbiting and we ain't nothing and all that stuff, but really pushing us and highlighting us in the best light. And I want to say thank you for that, OG. I appreciate you, Big Rig, Big Brother. I see you in the building. Appreciate everybody who's tuning in, and continue to fight for us, OG, because we need it. We need it. You know what I mean? Thank you, and that's all I can say.
Yeah, I'm fighting because people fought for me. I stand on the shoulders of other people. So, the example that I try to be in the community as far as helping where I can politically or with nonprofit organizations, whether I can give of my time, give of my money, give of my talent in any way that I can. I try to do that. Y'all saw me just interviewed on the last one, the guy that I done joined their organization. I'm a board member. They asked me to be a part of it with helping stop some of the youth, help reduce the youth violence here in Arizona in this community through music. Entertainment is a passion of mine. So if I can make a difference in a youth life with helping with that in this organization, then that's what I'm gonna do. And Sister Angie asked me to step up and be a part of Auntie Angie's organization as well, and I'm honored to do that and be an honorary auntie because listen, I had aunties, I had a village, I had people to help me, when I was a young teen mother, when I had my only son. I wouldn't have been where I am. I had the things, the resources and things that I had to do the things in life that I've done had I not had that. And these are women that need that and have that. So she said, would you help? And I said, I'll do what I can, and so being honored and being a part of Auntie Angie's house, as well as being a part of BAM, which is Blessed Among Measures organization here in Arizona to help reduce youth violence through music and entertainment. I'm honored to do that in any way I can, as well as I love politics anyway, and being in the political realm. This is why I try to tell our people so much that it's not just about going to vote, because we can do that so easily without, just, they black, they Democrat, I'm gonna vote for them. They this, they Republican, I'm gonna vote for them, without really checking the people out. And my experience with working the Obama campaign and really seeing how politics work changed my whole mindset about voting, who to vote for, and policies and procedures and things of that nature. Vote for the policies, not the person. I learned that at firsthand. And if you don't put your funding and your resources behind the candidate that you want to see in office to make the changes that's going to affect you and your community and your people, then it's not going to get done. And we need to know that there is an art to politics, and we need to learn the art of politicking, being black in America. We really do, because no matter how we look at it, society is ran, the world is ran off of politics and who you know, and being in places and spaces like with people that I'm working with and doing endeavors with now, like Angela Stanton-King, like Brother Jerron Davis, like my brother Kevin Means, with these organizations, is allowing me to have avenues and make a difference in other ways. So I'm just grateful for that.
Definitely, and thank you for all the stuff you're doing, Bro Clarence channel. I want to thank Bro Clarence as well, Mr. Bryant. Bola, I see you. Thank you too. I want to thank, they always say that the OGs need to step up. Well, listen, they've stepped up. Now it's on us. They stepped up. They showing improving. Y'all see the content. Y'all see what they're doing on YouTube and everywhere else. Now it's on us. So ain't no more excuses, y'all. Ain't no more excuses.
Yeah, and not only listen, because as a elder or an advisor or whatever you want to call somebody that's older in this space, in these YouTube streets and beyond, listen, I don't want to do this forever. I want to pass the torch. You know what I mean? So the things that I teach and instilled in my son that he's now out there doing it, working in nonprofit, is what I want to see somebody else with. I want to see that bright light and that shine in another young black boy's eyes or face, in another young black girl's eyes or face. I got my granddaughters are one's in high school, one's in college. They're very successful. You know, then I have the younger generation that's coming up, and I want them to be proud of me and saying that my nana, because that's what they call me, my nana is doing great things and she done great things, and this is how it affected me to be the person that I am today. That's what I want, and other people just outreached in our community, not the fact that I was just here and I was their grandmother and I didn't contribute anything to society or my community or my people. Anybody want to come up? Y'all can come up and holler at me. Y'all can come up and say hi. Y'all can come up and ask me a question. He dropped the stream, so anybody want to come up?
Y'all dropped the stream, y'all link, y'all. So, bro, C, I know you had a question in the chat. If you can come up.
Come on up here, bro. Don't be putting that your question in the chat. Bring it up. You know, you got other, older people, generations that's trying to make a difference in this YouTube streets. I see who they are by having the relationship conversation, trying to bring young black women and men up to a certain standard, to have certain values and views and opinions on relationships, and trying to mend and keep the black nuclear family together. And how can we do that? And how can we bridge the gap with black men and black? There are some that are doing that, but then there's more of the nefariousness that I see is what I want us to not concentrate on so much, because if we concentrate on the negative, we won't get the work done. And that's something that sister told me. Like, you can, like, it's always going to be naysayers, but if you're so busy only concentrating on what the negative and what you say you don't want, you're never going to get the work done on what needs to be done on what you do want. And that's just true. Bro Clarence.
Yes.
I see you. I can hear you, you know.
Hey, you see, Mr. Best, I always get in trouble.
I see, bro. I see. No matter what you do, you get in trouble. I see you.
Trouble with it, man. I get in trouble
right.
with it.
He gonna always be in trouble. He gonna always be in trouble.
Man. I can't live without her, man. So, Patrice, can I ask my question, please?
Yes.
I was listening to it, and it was a great interview, man. It was really great. It was like,
thank you.
You guys didn't spend that much time. You didn't get a chance to go into everything. Obviously, her whole life story, but you guys, it was a very good interview, right? You guys are definitely play off of each other really well. But the question I had was when she was mentioning how she got pardoned by Trump. Mm-hmm. That was something that I was wondering, how did that situation come about?
Yeah, well, she has said, through her godmother, Arvita King. And if you notice, Angela Stanton has King on her last name because she is married in the King family now. She married into one of the, I believe, nephews or great nephews or something of Martin Luther King. So she's in that family now. And with her meeting Arvita and Arvita having a close connection and relationship with Donald Trump, also, helped her actually to get involved in politics and meeting Donald Trump. And then she told Donald Trump about her experience of being chained to the bed with the sheriff in there watching her give birth to her daughter when she was in prison. And so having that relationship and getting involved in a relationship with Trump and in the Republican Party led to Trump making that illegal to do that, and also pardoning her for her crime that she was in prison for.
Okay.
So and like I said, that's why I wanted her to talk about and shed light on it, because not only, like I said, did he not pardon her, and that's why, and I don't blame her. That's why she stands behind him and listen.
Yeah.
Listen.
Part Lil Wayne, yeah.
You rock with him. Lil Wayne, I think it was Kodak Black and
Kodak Black.
Kilpatrick. There's a bunch of them that Trump pardoned. But see, these are things that is being overshadowed by the media, the mass media. They keep saying, he racist, he racist, he racist, he racist. But see, that's what they went off of, to help destroy his campaign, when we didn't take a look at, before Trump even ran for any office, the track record of a known racist. Like a track record of a known racist. This is why I'm saying I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. Because y'all remember when Trump was all on social media, all in pictures with all these black celebrities that was rocking with him, that was on his Apprentice show, that was supporting him, all these people that were black. But then as soon as the media started saying, he's racist, then all of a sudden they start pulling back. Let me not have nothing to do with that. I'm not connected to him no more. Like, what we doing?
Yeah, man. Well, it was a good interview. Sis, I just want to give you flowers on that, and definitely tell you that you're doing a great job. I don't know if I'm the only one. I know I'm not the only one. 84 just gave some, and I know B-Eazy feel the same way. But doing a great job, and everybody in the chat too. So keep doing you. Keep doing you. Keep doing you.
Yeah, salute to the chat. Thank you, bro. What's up, B-Eazy? You got a question or a comment?
Yeah, I didn't really have too much of a question. I just want to come support the stream because I usually don't have a chance to, due to time constraints, catch your show. But you did an excellent interview. I just wanted to, have some of the points that was touched on, just further expound on them. And one of the things that you was just talking about was he's racist, and it's a juvenile way of thinking politically and rationally for people to just keep spewing that talking point out. America doesn't have an issue with races. There have been known more revered races. Ronald Reagan, anyone, Nixon, and I can just keep going on and on. Right. So the fact that people would let he's racist, I say can be the point. Let's just say Trump is racist, right? And they always say the lesser of two evils.
Right.
So wouldn't we choose the lesser of two races?
Let's look at the track record of the two evils, right?
Correct. Has Trump said some racist things? Yes. Has he done some racist things? Absolutely. But if Trump has did 10 racist things and Biden has done 40 or 50, what is the rationale and logic in voting for Biden?
Who the lesser evil, right? That when they come with that, well, we got to vote with the lesser evil. Excuse me? Wait, so Biden has been in politics for what? Over a decade?
Like 40 to 50 years.
40, 50 years, and he has a track record of being a known racist. Trump just got involved with politics over the last, 10 years?
4 or 5.
4 or 5?
4 or 5. He never ran for political office. He was a president for one term, so that's 4 years. And let's just say 6, because usually when people launch a presidency, they say you should go, prepare 2 to 3 years out. So let's just give them 6 years. How are we comparing 6 years of a celebrity public figure to a career politician?
Exactly.
This is what I'm saying. This is intellectually juvenile and immature of us as people, not only our people, because, it was a bunch of white liberals beating the drums too, talking about Trump is racist while ignoring Biden's racism. If you present them with the quotes that Biden said and say, would you say this? Well, no, I wouldn't say that. That's racist. But you're giving him a pass for saying it?
And we got to be real. Trump has said some nefarious things about Hispanics, about his own white trash.
He had a Muslim ban.
Poor people. He said something about all race. Like, my thing is, okay, come on. All we got to do is just think. It just really use our common sense that God gave us. Has he said some racist things? Absolutely. Has he did some racist? Absolutely. But when you're talking about the lesser evil, look at the track record. And who is truly the lesser evil? And then, like I said, out of all the presidents, including Barack Obama, he was the only one willing to give us the $500 billion Black Platinum Plan specifically for us. Specifically. Have we
And
ever
he got a
had
lot of flack from his base too. Like, you know, the seething, foaming at the mouth MAGA people, they was mad, and that's why even a lot of Republicans didn't like Trump, because he was going against what was the political grain. He was like, nah, I'm here to drain the swamp. He did contribute to the swamp by having some swampy creatures around. But like you saying, OG Patrice, Trump, he sent his representatives to talk to Ice Cube about the platinum plan. You know what Biden did? He said, hey, talk to me after the election.
After the election.
And guess what? They still haven't talked.
That conversation ain't came yet. And we fall into this every single time, just like the conversation with Ice Cube about the reparations. Trump said, okay, what do Black people want? He kept saying, what do Black people want? And we kept saying, we want this, that, and that. Okay, we're going to have Ice Cube to come and represent us. No problem. It's a celebrity, but guess what? We're going to educate this celebrity. We're going to school this celebrity. So Ice Cube goes on Tone Talks. Tone Talks is the founder of ADOS, which is the founder of the reparations movement. And Tone Talks say, look, Ice Cube, you got to tell them about this. You got to mention that. You got to mention this for Black people. Okay, let's have that conversation. Oh, no, if Ice Cube go talk to Trump, we going to cancel him. Cancel Ice Cube. Cancel. Like, what do we want as a people? We cannot have things to benefit us if we are not at the table. When it came to Trump, you know what him and Kamala Harris did once they got in office? Didn't have a conversation with Ice Cube. They didn't have it. And then Biden gonna say, well, if we give reparations to Black people, we gotta add in Native Americans. Excuse me? You talking about the Native Americans that already got reparations? Excuse me? You talking about the ones that's still getting it?
And not only that, as soon as he got elected, he had Al Sharpton and a whole bunch of other, civil rights, misleaders. And he was yelling at them, talking to them like children. And he said, y'all need to start working with the Hispanics.
Yep. Always.
He didn't say we was giving y'all nothing. Then you had Jim, Django Clyburn from South Carolina saying, Biden don't owe us nothing. And Biden was saying, oh, I wouldn't have made the presidency without the Black vote. And if you don't
vote for me, you ain't Black now. You know that.
Correct. Now imagine any president, imagine a Black person, but just imagine any person of any skin pigment saying, look, if you don't do this, then if you don't vote for us, you are not Asian. If you don't do this, you are not white. So a lot of us in America in general, but I'm just speaking about us, we're desensitized to the insults. Yep. We know that they're going to insult us. They got something called no voting, no vucking.
Yeah. The nefariousness of that. And then you give us a representation to represent the Democrats. You give us Cardi B to talk to.
Who is not Black.
What?
Who has made it
exactly like
who has made it clear that she's not Black. She's said on interviews that she's not Black. She is you've never heard out of her mouth say that she's a Black woman. Exactly. But then that's why I try to tell people, get out of this person of color bag. All person of color just means all lives matter, bro. Right. That's all it means.
And then Black women specifically will get upset with me when I say, listen, Kamala Harris was only Black when she was running for vice president and president. That's
when she got first elected. They said first Asian Indian American.
Exactly. She never claimed to be Black until she ran. She said on the Breakfast Club, and when Charlamagne asked what specifically was she gonna do to help Black people, well, I'm not just gonna help Black people. Why can't that never be the conversation? We have never specifically for our people gotten anything without them wanting to include other races of people or not want to give us anything at all. But see, that's the conversation that they don't want to have.
But OG, they have selective Blackness.
Thank you.
I think
What are you talking about? Kamala Harris is not black. Y'all need to go on with that. I said, well, you need to have
She went to HBU. That's what they were telling me. She a sister girl. She went to HBCU. She a stepper. I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
So far removed from the black community is ridiculous. And
they only want to be black.
Before crime bill. Go ahead. Go ahead.
They only want to be black when it benefits them. You know what I'm saying? When they want to take advantage of the culture and they want to benefit from the culture, but they never want to be in it when we actually have to have a struggle or fight for it. And they all are guilty of it, because at times, you know, women like Cardi B in the restroom will claim that they're black or ethnic or whatever. Oh, I'm part of, you know, I'm part of that or whatever. But then when it comes down to really getting to the nitty gritty, they'll back away from it. So my question is this to everybody here. So what do we do? Do we continue to have the same system that we have now? Do we continue to play by the same rules? Or do we challenge it and now try to possibly maybe destroy and rebuild, and maybe try to get some new laws, some new amendments, some new whatever? Because evidently there's things that systematically we have to change. So what do y'all think about that? That's a question for everybody.
Go ahead, Brother Clarence. I'll let you answer, then be easy. I'll answer last.
All right.
You muted, bro, Clarence.
The mistake, that's being old. The mistake that you know, that a lot of us make is, well, a lot of people on the other side of, you know, because I tell people, hey, you know, we as black men especially need to get more involved in politics, right? And so the mistake they make is they make that leap from, well, if I get involved in politics, then you saying that that's going to correct everything. No, we're not saying that you getting involved with politics is going to correct everything. Everything's going to be better. It's just one more step. It's just one more tool in the toolbox that we're going to use. We're going to use this. We're going to use this. We're going to use it. We're going to use a lot of different things. But one of the things that we got for us that is on the table that we can use is political power, if we learn how to garnish it and use it the right way. It's like Patrice and Miss Stanton was saying, you know, so Donald Trump might be a racist, and Joe Biden might be a racist. We don't give a damn. Which one of them is going to do what we need them to do? That's the issue on the table. Which one of them? Because the Jews don't care that they Christians. The Jews care which one of them is going to do what we want them to do, right? Same thing with the Asians. The Asians know they got an issue with them, but they don't care. Same thing with our Latino brothers and sisters. They don't care. Which one of them is going to do what we need them to do? And that should be what we decide, instead of, unfortunately, as black people, we've been conditioned to say, well, your mama did it. It was good enough for your mama to be a Democrat. It was good enough for you. You should be a Democrat. You are turning your back on your people by voting for somebody in another party. And that's unfortunate. We got to get out of that mentality, right? We got to get into the mentality of who's going to do the most for us. Which one of you is going to do the most for us? And that's who we vote for. We ain't saying they what do you call that? A good person. We're just saying, you know, white people don't, and all of the stuff that Donald Trump did, white people in the Bible Belt, then they said this is still the one that's going to do what we need him to do. So we going to vote for him. That's the only issue on the table, right? So that's what we need to do. Now, as far as us as black men, we need to come up with a common code of conduct of how we're going to interact with everything around us so that we can handle it better. Because until we are able to say, okay, this is what we're going to do as a group. I may not like you. You may not like me. You may be a different religion. I may be a different religion. But that's not the issue. The issue is our children, our as a group, this is what we need. This will better help us at the most. So that's what we need to do. So to me, it's a two-pronged thing. Is first getting educated on what's how to best use this tool on the table, right? Because if we got a Glock on the table and somebody say, well, there's a Glock on the table. Yeah, but I don't want to shoot nobody. Well, it's not about wanting to shoot nobody. It's just that's something we got on the table, and we need to be ready to use it if we got to use it to get what we need to get done, right? And so that's why I look at the politics of it. That's my answer anyway.
Okay. Bro, Clem's talking about the guns. I see you. B-Eazy, go ahead, bro.
Yeah,
Hey, we need to be ready to do whatever we need to do. I'm not saying
I'm glad he went there.
Run out with that's the first option, but we need to be prepared to do whatever we need to do. Even if it's the last option, we need to be prepared,
And in order to be prepared, you need to train. How could you be prepared for something that you didn't train for? So let's say, some ish hits the fan, and now you have that weapon on the table that you need to defend your dignity, defend your family, but you never train, so you don't know how to use it, so you freeze up. And just that simple hesitation could be an unfortunate tragedy or a loss of life. That's why we need to prepare. It's not the only option, but it is an option that you need to exercise. And people always talk about your ancestors fought for the right for you to vote. They also fought for the right for you to bear arms. They fought for you to choose not to vote. Right? So let's not limit what our ancestors fought for. They didn't fight for you to be blindly voting Democrat. They didn't fight for you to go say, hey, this person is racist and ain't gonna give you nothing. But this other racist is offering you something. Here, go with the racist that's not giving you nothing. Your ancestors didn't fought for that. So people are being very disrespectful and disingenuous when they bring up those points. And what I would say with politics, yes, it is something we need to be more adroit at and politically active at. But when it comes to laws, standards, and covenants, there's laws and there's unwritten laws. And we need to be focusing on the unwritten covenants, because I'm all for the George Floyd Policing Act and all of this other stuff. A lot of those things are just symbolism with minimal substance. What do those laws mean to a criminal that's going to break the law? So we need to have moral codes and standards that we are unwilling to break with each other. You know what I mean? We need to be able to discipline each other. That, okay, look, you about to, get DP'd, but it's going to be less harsh than what the people would do, because when we're actually asking, basically people will say that they're oppressed, and then we're going to ask these same oppressors to write laws to protect us. We are the ones that's going to protect us. Should we be advocating for these laws? Yes, but we should be advocating for better conduct, better behavior, and better treatment of each other. That's why I always tell people always say, and it's a funny running joke, man, F them kids, them ain't my kids. And I say, okay, cool. I can see that. Let's keep that same energy. So if something happens with your daughter and she gets raped, F them kids. It ain't my daughter. If I do a drive-by on your kid, F them kids. Who wasn't my kid that I knocked down? So when we start talking foolishly like that, who is your kid going to marry? Some thought? Who is your what type of women is your son going to be able to choose from? So when you saying F them kids, you're basically saying F your kid's future husband or future wife. If you are a business owner, F them kids. Who are you going to hire? What is the next generation of kids? And then if you saying F them kids, these kids are already naturally rebellious. You think these kids ain't going to say F you? And then people saying, stop the crime. Why are these kids so unruly? Oh, the kids that you said F them kids? Why would they be bowing down to you? Why would they want to follow anything you said when they know that you don't give a flying F about them? We got to get out of this non-empathetic mentality. And actually, sometimes people do be empathetic, but when it comes to people outside of our community, you know how many Ukraine flags I've been seeing flying from people that look like me? You know how many people I've been seeing fighting for people to come here illegally across the border? And on the flip side, I'm not seeing that same level of fight for us. So it's not up to the government to pass a law to protect us. It's up to us to protect us. It's up to us to govern us, to set a new standard. I tell people for women, I got a grandmama standard. If you don't want to see your mama or your grandma doing it, then don't choose a woman for a wife that would be doing that. And what I mean by that, would you want to see your grandma twerking? Would you want to be seeing your grandma doing duck lips and showing her cleavage? No. So you shouldn't want your wife, your lady, or your daughter doing that. Set some standards within yourself. The music Cardi B make, she don't let her daughter listen to it, but you'll let your daughter listen to it. The gangbangers,
that part.
T.I. is from the streets. He didn't raise his son to be from the streets. So we need to just value each other more. And I want to talk more about the like the social politics. I mean, the government politics, but I think our social politics is even more important. We limit our politics only to thinking about, hey, I got to go vote for somebody, but family have politics, works have politics, and we need to get them all in order. And I'll end with that.
I appreciate that.
Bro, Clarence, you funny.
Yeah, he said, you see, I went in front of B because he know B-Eazy be rocking out. But Sister Annie, thank you for joining the panel. I appreciate you being here in this space, and I would love to hear your commentary. It's my show, so I'm gonna let all you guys rock and give your opinion, views, or questions or comments that you have.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Hey, Sister Anya.
What's up?
First, let me say that was an amazing interview, and I'm so happy that you were able to get her. I have so much respect for Mrs. King. I appreciate her advocacy for kids. That's where my heart is.
I do too.
I told you the other day on Brother Clarence that, I mean, I just look up to you so much, OG Patrice. I admire you. You're willing to step out and do things that I don't have the courage to do. I'm kind of a behind the scenes person, but I think one of the things that I have noticed is that when we don't do the research that we can do to find out information, we don't realize that there's different funding and sources and things out there that could help us to whatever purpose that we have. So if I had my opinion on things that can help, it would be that we use the resources that are available so that we can place ourselves in positions to make a change. One of the things, and why I just really support Brother Clarence so much, is he feels very strongly about something I feel strongly about, and it's kids, in particular, young boys. So he has been out there with these different trainings, and I'm doing everything I can to help him with the different funding and resources for that. So I'm using myself in that way. And I'm doing all this research, so I'm learning a lot of stuff, but that's what we have to do. And sometimes we have to not be so worried about like the recognition of it. I mention it right now. I almost feel bad that I even said it, because everything that I'm doing is behind the scenes with Brother Clarence. But we don't need to fight for our name to be stamped on something. Just get out there and do what your heart is telling you. The purpose is bigger than our position. So that's the only thing I would say. But I respect all y'all so much for the fight that y'all have.
I appreciate it. I definitely don't do it for the recognition. I do it for the fight and the fact I love my people, and I know the ones that I want to help and rock with are the ones that's it's gonna make a difference in their life, And like I said, whether I'm dead and gone, I'll be dead and gone, and having my grandbabies and things to say, wow, my grandmother was a part of this, my nana was a part of that, my nana did this, and this is how it affected me and my future and my life, or whatever. What you say, I'm elated for platforms and social media because it's the new trend for all ages, as well as an opportunity to reach and teach educational politics and positive content to better our lives. That is true. And that's my BFF, y'all, Latasha Branch. That's my BFF.
You know what? She just laid a very heavy comment too. It seems simplistic, but it's very heavy, because with this social media thing too, there's sometimes age generational gap. Sometimes there's a class gap, but you're able to connect, and none of that matters.
Right, exactly.
But on the street, people may not be willing to say, hey, this is an OG. I'm not an OG. I may not have nothing in common with them. Or, hey, this is a young person. They still wet behind the ears. I don't have nothing in common with them. But when you link up, you find out that we all could learn from each other.
Absolutely. I mean, I've learned so much from you guys, the younger generation, that, man, like B-Eazy, you are a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of wisdom. You and brother, oh my God, he changed his name.
Big Rig.
Not Big Rigs, but the what's his Blackheart, he changed his name. What's his
New
name?
Grove.
New Grove. Yeah, brother New Grove. Like, when I listen to you guys, I'd be honored for you guys to come on and give your perspective and your views on these things, because you guys are the younger generation that's out there, boots on the ground, doing the work, not just in these YouTube streets talking the talk, but y'all are out there walking the walk with the things that you all are involved in and doing. And like Sister Annie, I will say this to you: your behind the scenes work that you doing with Brother Clarence, or in what you said you were doing now in your community, that speaks volumes, because it's people like you that don't get the recognition. And I tell people, if you can't show up, if you can afford to send money, donate. If you could afford to show up, of course, your time is everything, right? Because especially when you're working with kids, they're tangible. They want to see you. They want to be interacting with you. So if you can do those things, absolutely. But we know everybody's not in a position, and everybody fight ain't the same as mine and the next person, right? So I tell everybody, the fights that I'm in, yeah, I know everybody, don't want to or can't do those fights, but where you can make the difference. Support is support. Like I said, if I have a friend and they have a show and I can't be there, but they selling tickets, I'll buy a ticket and say, here, I'll treat. Here's 2 people. Send somebody on my behalf. That's still support, you guys. I'm not there directly, but I'm still supporting. So it's so many different ways and levels we can support. But to answer your question, 84, like, we really have to think now outside the box as a people, because nothing we've ever did for decades has been working for us in our communities when it comes to the political realm of it. It just hasn't. If you ask anybody, your parents, your grandparents, like specifically, if they were born and raised to be Democrats and they raised you to be Democrat the same way I was, and I had to have this conversation with my mother. I said, I watched you, I watched all my family, I watched all us be Democrats our whole life. And not saying that the Republicans will do so much. I say, but specifically, what has any Democrats we've ever voted for specifically done something for Black people? She couldn't answer that question. I said, I just made a conscious decision to switch political views. I'm independent. I said, but Mom, when I did the research, my views are definitely conservative. I can still be pro-life. I could still be pro-choice at the same. I'm for someone that wants their life changed, but I'm also for a woman that finds herself in a position and wants to make the choice to have an abortion. I can't tell her don't do it, because that's not my body. I don't have a right to tell a woman what to do with her body. But like Sister Angela said, there's other alternatives, because if we only pick an abortion, we behind the 8 ball again, because we already are a minority. Hence, if we don't want to see more of our people, our children be born, our babies be born, then where does that lead us as a community and as a people in the future, if we're aborting more than we're bringing to life? So I just say that we need to have a different perspective and a different view outside the box of politically, especially, and know that there's an art to it, and we need to learn and research and study that art more, and not just vote for people because they look like us or because they, again, dangle that carrot and that shiny object. Because I'm gonna tell you, if I would have made a choice of who I would have voted for, I would have definitely voted for Trump, even though I didn't vote for either one. But if I had to say, well, it's the two of the lesser evils, because you know that's what we say as a people, we use that as an excuse, I would have voted for him. But I didn't vote for either. But if I had of, I would have voted for him. When I looked at the people he was talking to, the Angela Stanton-Kings, the Ice Cubes, even the Steve Harveys, and I don't even care for him, but Steve Harvey was in that room having that meeting with him saying, what are you going to do for my people? See, these are the conversations. We need to have the tough conversations about this. We cannot be so quick to throw our people away because they in the room with people we don't particularly care for. I wouldn't give a good god doggone if Steve Harvey could have got a bill passed specifically for Black people or resources and revenue for Black people. I wouldn't have cared that the fact that I don't care for Steve Harvey as a comedian, because I don't know him as a person. I don't care that I don't care for Trump, for some things he said. But if he was saying, well, what do Black people want? I'll be willing to sit at the table and have the meeting and give y'all something if you vote for me. Oh, but I'm not, because you're a racist, so I don't care. You ain't got to give us nothing because I ain't going to vote for you. We have to stop having that mindset because you're a racist. And the media is what is that saying that Malcolm X said about the media? Being like our worst enemy. And if the media, who that controls the media can controls
the mind.
Yes. And our minds
also
have literally been controlled and conditioned by the media.
And OG, he also said that the people they put in front of us in the media, the entertainers and the athletes, buffoons and people
and puppets.
And the puppets, yep. You know what I'm saying? I remember he said that too. And I think that was a something that him and Martin was trying to touch on. And I know that they had a lot of things they felt as far as us even being integrated. You know what I mean? After segregation, they had a lot of feelings about that. Even though our treatment of segregation was terrible as well, they had a lot of feelings about us being integrated. And I just want to say this, and that's why Martin gave the quote, he was afraid that he was leading his people into a burning home. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And Malcolm and Malcolm. A lot of people say Malcolm was crazy and those other stuff. And all these people that have said things about them and all that, it's just crazy because most of these people haven't even lifted a finger to even try to do anything to help anybody or any of our people or anything. And I just want to give a salute to, like I said, to everything you've done, OG. Also salute to you, bro, Clarence, for doing that book by Drive Inspired by Lady Phoenix and just the need for it. Just the need to help the youth. Also, our heavily sister in the stream, QueBee, who is still to this day, I seen something on her sister's post. She to this day is still being honored in her state for everything she's done, for all her philanthropy, for her changing people's lives. You know what I mean?
We're coming to an end of our Black History Month, y'all. But y'all know how I rock. I'm Black every day, so Black History Month is every day of my life. But and this is the thing. But I really thought about it because I said, man, if Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King was living and Malcolm X was living, how would they feel about Black America and Black people today? I thought about that this morning. And I believe that they would be gravely disappointed. I really do.
I believe they would be disgusted.
Yeah, where we are as a people and as a society and what we have bought into, with a lot of the negative music influence, reality TV influence, so much negativity, the violence, the destruction of our people, the crime, and all these things. And it's sad that they unalived all our leaders like that, and we don't have these type of strong leaders anymore because the ones we do have really sold us out. So this is why I would like to see a generation of new leaders come up and come forward and don't sell out. That actually be for and of and by the people and we just don't see that. I'm not crazy about the Sharptons and the Mallorys and the Sean Kings and the My Sons. I'm not crazy about them because they were they were cloned by the Sharptons.
They're handpicked.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
were
exactly.
selected, not elected. And I agree with you, OG Patrice. But I will also say, just to add a little bit more to what you're saying. Sometimes people say, "Well, I'm not Malcolm X or I'm not Martin Luther King," so they're looking for an excuse to not push the line that they did. You don't need to be Malcolm X and you don't need to be Martin Luther King
Exactly.
if you just
You're not
think
asking me to be.
critically. If you think critically, they got these gangbanger dudes out here that are drive-by hitting kids. Some of these dudes is molesting kids. None of those dudes have been assassinated. But
Right.
Malcolm X gets assassinated, Martin Luther King gets assassinated, Fred Hampton gets assassinated. But the dope in America said they got a problem with drugs and gangs. Why y'all not assassinating gang leaders? Get them up out of here. Like I'm not with the man. Free Ray Ray. What did Ray Ray do? Oh, he did a drive by. Get him up out of here. I don't
Yep.
care. These cats need to go because what we either get him up out of here or he's gonna get your kid up out of here or keep perpetuating the cycle. No, we need to stop the spread of this, right? So if somebody needs to be eliminated, they're already getting eliminated from society in some type of way. People are not going to really care one way or the other. And when it comes to I hear some people complaining like about the OGs that sold us out, which it has been a significant amount of OGs that sold us out. But if you over here complaining about the OGs that sold us out, guess what you're going to become? Another OG that sold us out. What are you not? You're not doing anything for real. So it's like if Tom Brady currently is the GOAT right now, but who is the face of the NFL? Patrick Mahomes, right? Tom Brady, his accomplishments is already cemented. He could still play another year, but he chose to retire because these young guns got to pick it up. It's up to us to pick it up. Why are we waiting for OGs to keep passing and trying to win the Super Bowl? Like you got younger legs, fresher legs. Like you got social media. You talking about you got gang and all of these chicks that pull up for you. What are these chicks pulling up to do? Are they pulling up to empower your people? Or are they just pulling up to drink and party and stuff like that? How are you any different than the OGs that you said sold us out? And the people that are unwilling to be politically active, if you think about the Martin Luther King times, it was a bunch of black people that was against them. Those are the same people that are against the Angela Stanton-Kings, the same people that are against anybody that's empowering. But
Yep.
all Jim Clyburn got to do is give a fish fry and you go vote Democrat. You
And
don't.
some of them specifically don't even rock with her or like Angie or Angela Stanton-King or give her a chance just because she Republican and just because she rock with Trump. But did y'all know any of the things that Trump specifically did for her and our people? Did you all know that? So you wouldn't understand why she wouldn't rock with this man. If we don't look into and research and look into the fact and have the conversations, we would never know the specifics of the why people make the choices that they make sometimes. Because honestly, if he did the things for me that he did for her, I'd be rocking with him too. Let's just be honest, and we gotta have the conversation, right? And Miss Nebraska, thank you for you and Quantum. Thank you guys for tuning in. We having a conversation after my interview with Sister Angela Stanton-King. So y'all gonna have to go and roll that beam footage backwards and check it out.
Watch that playback.
Watch the replay. I'm gonna bring her back for a part 2. But I would also say too, and we know that that it's nefariousness on both sides. We
OG Patrice, tell them about the quid pro quo. You don't got to be politically active. All you got to do is all of these group politicians, they practice quid pro quo. What is that? Something in exchange for something. Votes are supposed to be transactional. You don't just get to pass out chicken and say no voting, no fucking, vote for me. Okay, cool, I voted for you. What am I gonna get? Well, you got the video. No voting, no fucking. That's what you wanted, right? No, we wanted tangible. Wait, vote for us again in 4 years, and then we'll think about it. Then we'll do a study for reparations.
We get used, by falling into that, the promise, right? And then we give them the vote and they deliver us nothing. And we don't see any tangibles at all, but we accept tokenism. We'll accept a statute. We'll accept a little minute law or bill that really doesn't affect us as a people and community as a whole. But we accept, a holiday. We accept Black History Month, but you're not giving us any tangibles. You're not giving us any reparations based off of the fact that all other races of people have gotten reparations in America. But when we want to have that conversation, you want to flee from it, or you want to invite other races of people who've already gotten reparations in the conversation. So you're right. I mean, tokenism is what we buy into all the time. Oh, they got a George Floyd statue.
Okay, so
they just did a Martin Luther King statue, didn't even have his face.
Yeah, it was.
But see, let me say this real quick, if I may.
It's a symbolism. It's crazy to me.
Bro, see, I just want to say this real quick. We also got to remember things like COINTELPRO as well, right? Where J. Edgar Hoover in place things, systematically to bring us down, systematically to hurt our people, to hurt our movements. You know what I mean? To call us like the biggest threats, you know what I'm saying, in the Black community. Well, all we was trying to do, they just fight to have some equal say and just some rights. It's crazy the things that has been done to our people, man. It's phenomenal. Go ahead, bro. See, I'm sorry.
No, man, you were good, man. I just had a question. Okay, so if our people are being constantly misled down these wrong paths, right? And it reminds me of a group of people in a boat in a certain creek, right? Every now and then the helicopter flies out and brings them oars and say, here's some oars you can use. And they say, no, well, these oars was made by this company. I don't follow this company, so leave them oars. And it's just like generation after generation, they're sitting in that same spot and they can't go nowhere because they're denying the help from any direction, right? Any direction is coming from, because they say, oh well, there's people out there on the shore of the river that don't want those people to come across the shore, and they keep telling you, oh, don't use this. That's a bad company. Don't use that company. They did this and they did that and they did this, and so we won't do by any means necessary to get on the shore, right? When you get on the shore, see, we have to have, in my opinion, we have to have the mentality like, by any means necessary, by any means necessary. However we got to get on the shore, however we got to get across the water, let's get across the water. Then after we across the water, let's sit down and talk about, how we're going to move forward, because we got these differences of opinion or whatever, right? But while the rapids are coming, there ain't no time to talk about that. And we don't understand, in my opinion, we don't see how critical the situation is. Now, my question is, why don't we see how critical the situation is? Because Patrice, you and B-Eazy brought up a good point. You said, hey, our people keep going for the same, game over and over and over. Why? Why we keep going for the same game and it's yielding us
it's insanity.
It produces individual results, but they're so small and minuscule that they don't really have an effect on us as a community. So why do we keep going for it?
It's insanity. It's doing the same thing and expecting different results. And for decades it has not worked for us. And for the life of me, it's hard for Black people to get out of habit from tradition, habit from birthright, how they was raised to believe. And believe me, I used to be that way until I made a conscious decision to open up my mind, to broaden my horizons and open up my mind and listen to other points of view that's different from mine. or what I thought was different from mine. And it's so hard for us as a people to do that. Why do you think it's so hard for us to stop celebrating holidays? Why do you think it's so hard for us to stop spending our hard-earned money on things that we don't need? Why do you think it's so hard for us to face truths about Christianity or being a Muslim or being a politician or being a female or being a male? It's hard. Well, I was raised that way, and this is all I know, and this is what it is. But we scared to say, wow,
step outside that comfort zone.
Exactly. It's something else that's different.
And not only that, so what the things that we should be doing that, some would be considered morally sound, is promoted in our face to do the opposite. And they hold up these symbolic figures, and they're doing, the things that they're doing that's good is not heavily promoted. But when they select these rappers, this stuff is not based off talent anymore. Is who will do the bidding of the record labels, which is continuously to promote, sex, drugs, violence, murder, and mayhem. They're only going to put people in there that's going to carry that line. I know many of rappers. I actually produce music myself. Many of these labels have life insurance policies. You don't hear that being talked about a lot, right? So when they allow these artists to go out and promote this gang stuff that's going to be detrimental to the community, have ramifications in the streets that could lead to the loss of life and much more tragedies and a perpetuating of black on black crime, which they say they didn't want to stop, and it's such a problem, but you keep promoting it. Imagine someone that says they want to stop, human trafficking, but that's all they talk about in their music. And then that's all you promote. And then you have artists on and you only ask them questions about human trafficking, but you say you want to stop it. And Cardi B, just go down the list of lines of people. They promote that music, and a lot of that music is not even to be consumed by children. It's supposed to be adult content, and most adults are like children. She doesn't let her kid listen to that. So why are you letting your kid listen to that? You know what I mean? All of these Snoop didn't raise Snoop has been Crip all of his life, right? Did he raise his son to be a Crip? So why are you promoting that for your son? And you got emulated by some gang members that are not even promoting that lifestyle for their child. And you say that's all you know, but what you need to say is that's all you want to know. Because there's other things out there that you can know. We're in the information age. You don't have to limit yourself to one viewpoint. You should be learning from everyone, including your enemy. So to the point that Bro Clarence was making, some people will look and say, hey, I don't like him, man. He's my enemy. So what? Your enemy probably has some game that you don't know, or some game or certain tools that you can add to your repertoire. That doesn't mean that you suddenly like them. If your enemy says 2 + 2 is 4, man, forget him, man. I don't care what he said. Okay, cool. That doesn't mean that you like him, but you can acknowledge what he said was a fact and move on. You acknowledging that fact doesn't mean that you guys are suddenly besties. So we got to get out of this emotionally juvenile way of thinking and stop idolizing, because a lot of people are supposedly proud Christians. Where in the Bible does it say to deify these celebrities? But that's what y'all do. People can't pay their phone bill, but you got tickets to Beyonce concert. Like, how'd you pull that off? You know what I mean?
Right.
You're going over here idolizing.
That's a whole other conversation, because them tickets is ridiculous.
For real. You idolizing these celebrities, and that's why when they continuously perpetuate negative stereotypes about us, you don't even want some chick, I don't even know, some Sukihana chick. She's always twerking. She was talking about Harriet Tubman, saying, and Harriet Tubman, see, that was a real bitch right there. And she did some real bitch things. And people was over there like, yes, queen. It's like, you talking about Harriet Tubman and regarding her as a real bitch. I seen people with Martin Luther King putting gold grills in his mouth and doing all, photoshopping him with a grill and tats on his face, thugifying our select. He wasn't about that. And then they'll bring up and some and say, oh, well, he had a relationship. He had an affair. Like, bro, you cheated on your baby mama how many times? You not even married, bro. So who are you to even basically question these people? I tell people that most of y'all is making more money than Malcolm X, and you have more resources than Malcolm X. So you don't even need to be Malcolm X to make a Malcolm X contribution. Are you going to be as impactful and influential as him? No, but you're not in competition with that. You're in competition with yourself, what you did last week, last year. And if you haven't done nothing, if you start to do anything, you've already making a step forward. So people got to stop complaining about the OGs, because you are the OG now. It's the OGs need to be sitting in the bleachers, bro. It's not up to the OGs, bro. If you really a stomper, a stepper, like you saying, what is you stepping for? Because if you're not stepping for empowerment people, then you just got to get out the way.
B-Eazy for president. B-Eazy for president.
Miss Nebraska, I'm gonna let you give your point of view, and then we're gonna give finals, and then I gotta go because I got my other meeting for the other foundation that I have to be in. They just summons me, so I'm gonna let you guys go ahead, Miss Nebraska, give your comments or questions, and then we're gonna give a final, and then we're gonna close it out.
I am so disappointed in myself that I had missed that interview earlier. Oh my gosh.
But I'm definitely,
Lord, I'm definitely gonna go back and watch it. Big ups and much love to the beautiful queen, OG Patrice. Oh my gosh, she is so dope in so many ways. Big up to the panel, big up, of course, to Knowledge and Relationships and Mr. Best. Yeah, you guys, I walked in on a really good conversation. I agree with pretty much everything that everybody said. I wish that, Black Americans will do their own research and their due diligence instead of relying on the media and, the powers to be to tell them who to vote for. We need to stop doing that. I personally rock with Angela. I think she's awesome. She has really valid points in her stance. And, like she said, people dislike her because she's a Republican. It's always going to be that Crip versus Blood gang mentality here in America, whether we're talking about politics or whether we're talking about street politics. So, unfortunately. But salute to everybody. Salute to everybody.
Salute to you. And now for closing remarks, Bro Clarence, I'll let you go ahead and rock. Y'all try to limit it to 2 minutes, and then I'm gonna close out because I'm literally on my Zoom on this other meeting, so I gotta go.
All right. Just want to thank everybody for having me up here, man. Thank you, Knowledge and Relationships, always. The Powerhouse, Intellectual SoapBox, my brother, man. That door is always open for you, brother. Everybody, brother, B-Eazy. You know what it is, man. Don't go after B-Eazy, man. Try not to, right? Shout out to Sister Annie, of course, and Mr. Nebraska. Shout out to y'all. Okay, so my last remarks are, Black people, we got to open our minds. We can no longer afford to be closed-minded about how we're going to do something, right? If anybody brings a solution and puts it on the table, maybe we don't feel that that's the best solution, but at least let's keep it at an option, right? Because we've been doing the same thing and we're getting the same results. And so now we got to do something different to get some different results if we want to be in the future. You all used to watch some old future shows like Twilight Zone and everything. You never saw no Black people in the future. Well, that may be it. It may happen for us if we don't take charge of our situation. So shout out to everybody, man. Just open your mind, Black people. We got to think different. We can't think like our parents thought. We got to think differently. Every generation needs to open their minds up to the solutions on the table because technology provides us different solutions. So shout out to everybody. Patrice, great show. Good job, girl. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming up. Y'all go over there and subscribe to my Bro Clarence channel. Let's talk the Better Black Life. Y'all know that's one of my home channels. I live over there. So. But I love that brother. I actually got to meet him in person, and he's just as a beautiful brother in person as he is in these YouTube streets. B-Eazy.
So I just want to say thank you for letting me be a part of this stream. You did a great interview and, produced some very, substantial, substantive content with Miss Stanton-King. And I would say also this after stream has been a very powerful stream too. I always like the streams where we can build and not be bickering at each other. You know what I mean? Not to say anyone on this panel does that. I'm just speaking in general. Those conversations are more destructive than constructive. And if we're trying to build, we don't really have time to be playing around with people that is not trying to help propel us forward. It's a critical mass right now, a red alert, so we got to have all hands on deck. And that's cool if you are not trying to help with the betterment of our people, but you just need to get out the way. Don't undermine the people that's actually doing the work. Don't ridicule the people that's doing work that you have yet to put in. So anyone can, for example, in sports, anyone can criticize LeBron James and say he's not better than Jordan. He's trash. He sucks. But have you ever made it to the league? Have you ever started on your high school team? Do you even shoot? Do you get up any shots in the gym? So have that same level of thinking when you're thinking about politics and activism. If you never been out in the street, if you are not fighting to get any laws passed, you're not doing any activism, you're not leading your own home, you're not building up a boys and girls club, after school programs, you're not tutoring, mentoring any kids, you're in no position to criticize. You're actually part of the problem and not part of the solution. I don't want to hear about it. Shout out OG Patrice and the panel. Love y'all. I'm out.
Salute. Thank you, B-Eazy. I appreciate you
Salute,
coming up.
salute, B-Eazy.
Y'all make sure y'all rock with B-Eazy and Big Red Slaps. They have a show on this very platform, Knowledge and Relationships. Y'all make sure y'all come and check them out. These brothers are doing great things. All right, Mr. Best, go ahead.
I'm gonna let the ladies go first. Sister Anya, Mr. Nebraska, I'll go last.
I appreciate it. Sister Annie, what you got to say, sis?
Hey, I'll make it really quick. I just want to say I'm so proud of you. I love you so much. You feel like family to me.
I love you too.
I'm thankful for Angela Stanton-King for coming up. She's so inspirational. And I just want to make a challenge to everyone that is on the panel, that's in the chat, that listens to this later. Give of yourself to something. Allow whatever gift and passion you have to be something that builds something else up. And don't always have to have the recognition and be paid for it. Sometimes just donate something. Donate your gift to something bigger than yourself. So that's all I would say. Thank y'all for having me up here. Thanks for asking me to come up, Intellectual SoapBox. But I love y'all, and I'm praying for everybody.
We love you too, Sister Annie. Thank you so much.
Love you too.
Y'all make sure. What happened to?
I guess she had to drop off.
Okay.
I'll just say this real quick, y'all.
Y'all can catch Sister Annie. Hold on, y'all can catch Sister Annie over there on Let's Talk the Better Black Life. I wish she'll get her a show, but she's a wonderful supporter, and I love that sister so much. So thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Best.
Salute to OG Patrice. Salute to Mrs. Angela Stanton-King. Salute to everybody that came up, Bro C, B-Eazy, Sister Anya, Sister Miss Nebraska. You know what I'm saying? Salute to everybody, man. Thank y'all for always being a part of our movement here in Knowledge and Relationships. We appreciate y'all, man. Definitely. Salute to M3. M3, we know you're in the building. I see you. And yeah, man, definitely. You know what I mean? I see everybody still joking around in the comments. Love all y'all, man. OG, go ahead and close it out. I'm going to go in the back.
All right. Thank you, sir. I want to give a special shout out to my guest, Sister Angela Stanton-King. Thank you so much for coming over here and giving a wealth of knowledge, telling your story, being so humble about it, and being so matter-of-factly. I'm honored to know you. I'm honored to be working with you and being a part of Auntie Angie's as a honorary auntie and any other endeavors that I find fit to rock with her with. I'm honestly humble to be a part of it. I want to thank everybody, the chat, Listen, the chat is where it's at. Y'all came over here and rock with your girl, OG Patrice, on Straight Up No Chaser Talk. And I want to thank my tech support. Listen, Mr. Best, Mr. M3, y'all the best. I love y'all. Y'all know I rock with y'all always and forever, y'all family. Thank you to the panel, everybody that came up that gave their views, opinions, comments, questions, anything. B-Eazy. Love you. Thank you, Miss Nebraska, Sister Annie, Mr. 84, Bro Clarence. Did I miss anybody? If I missed, please charge it to my head and not my heart. I am a older person, an OG, elder, whatever you want to call me. I don't get offended by none of it. That is really trying to make a difference and do the work, right? But I don't want to continue to do it alone or do it by myself. I love being able to pass the torch on to the younger generation. So when I see y'all out here, boots on the ground doing the work, I appreciate it, because people like Sister Angela Stanton-King is doing great things. But guess what? We ain't gonna always be around to do it. And she don't mind, getting other people, the younger generation, in to come and help and passing the torch. She just said to me she would love to see an Auntie Angie's house in every state. And if I can help make that possible in the state where I live, I will be a part of making that happen. And this is what we got to do. No matter what side of the political spectrum you on, whether you're a Dem, a Republican, or an independent, just do something. Just know that you have to open your mind to listen to people with other points of view from that other side. But if you can agree and have a common ground on the goal that you want to see the upliftment of our people, then that should be the bottom line. Y'all go and check Angela Stanton-King out on her YouTube channel. Y'all go and please donate. Go to Auntie Angie's house at auntiangiehouse.org on her platform and donate to help underprivileged women that's transitioning, that is pregnant or have children that needs help, because it really do take a village. You guys, please please subscribe. If you coming in on the end, roll it back and watch this beautiful bean footage in its entirety. This was an awesome interview. I do plan to get her back to do a part 2 at some other point in time. But I thank y'all for rocking with your girl, OG Patrice, on Straight Up No Chaser Talk. Now it's time for me to go. I love you. Peace. Hello.
DJ Eddie King.